Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Gaurang Dhawanlal and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastava with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets presidents of European Council and European Commission in Rome, discusses ways to enhance economic as well as people-to-people linkages aimed to create a better planet. India to highlight the need to address climate change issues comprehensively at COP26 World Leaders Summit, says Prime Minister. Directorate General of Civil Aviation extends ban on international passenger flights until November 30th. Over 105 crore 37 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. All preparations in place for smooth conduct of by-election for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 Assembly seats tomorrow. India International Trade Fair to be held in New Delhi from 14th to 27th of November. Kannada film star Puneeth Rajkumar passes away in Bengaluru due to cardiac arrest. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, West Indies beat Bangladesh by 3 runs in Sharjah. In another fixture, Pakistan take on Afghanistan in Dubai. As India created history by administering 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses and other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact the national helpline numbers 011 239 78046 and 1075. And now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held a joint meeting with the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in Rome. The leaders discussed ways to enhance economic as well as people-to-people linkages aimed at creating a better planet. Mr. Modi and presidents of the EU recalled their productive virtual engagements of India-EU leaders meetings in the form of EU Plus 27 in May this year and the 15th India-EU Summit in July last year. During the meeting, leaders of India and the EU reviewed India-EU cooperation covering political and security relations, trade and investment, and economic cooperation, as well as Roadmap 2025 agreed to at the last India-EU Summit. They also discussed climate change, the COVID-19 pandemic, and contemporary global and regional developments of interest to both sides. The EU leaders also congratulated India for its excellent progress on vaccination. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said they had wide-ranging talks on deepening the India-EU friendship, particularly in areas such as trade, commerce, culture and the environment. Later, Mr. Modi paid floral tributes at the bust of Mahatma Gandhi at Piazza Gandhi in Rome. Exuberant members of the Indian community gave a warm welcome to Mr. Modi there. The Prime Minister interacted with the Indian community at Piazza Gandhi. The Indian community in Rome lauded Mr. Modi's leadership and his work.
हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री हैं जो कभी आए हैं, ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री न कभी आएंगे। ये हमारे देश के नंबर 1 प्रधानमंत्री हैं। हमारी शान है, हमारे देश के लिए आज मान है। आज तक उन्होंने जो भी घोषणाएं अपनी की हैं वो हमें देखने को मिलता है। जन जन तक वो सुविधाएं जो है वो पहुंच रही है। चाहे वो उन्होंने जो भी आज तक बोला वो हमेशा करके ही दिखाया जाए, चाहे उसके लिए कुछ भी करना पड़े उनको। ये नहीं देखते कि कोई मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेगा। जो की योजनाएं जो भी है, उज्ज्वला योजना है, हर गरीब को घर मिले, ये उन्होंने करके दिखाया है आज तक, इसीलिए वो सभी के प्रिय नेता हैं।
Prime Minister Modi will hold a bilateral meeting with his Italian counterpart Mario Draghi tonight. He will participate in the G20 Summit from the 30th to the 31st of this month. The summit will be attended by heads of state of G20 member countries, the European Union and other invited countries and international organizations. It will be centered around the theme People, Planet, Prosperity. It focuses on areas of recovery from the pandemic and strengthening of global health governance, economic recovery and resilience, climate change and energy transition, and sustainable development and food security. The Prime Minister will also hold several bilateral meetings with the heads of different states at the sidelines of the G20. During the second leg of his visit, Prime Minister Modi will leave for Glasgow to attend the World Leaders Summit of the 26th Conference of Parties, COP26, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The high-level segment of COP26 will be held on the 1st and 2nd of next month. It will be attended by heads of state of more than 120 countries. Another important event there will be the launch of the Global Green Grids Initiative under the vision of One Sun, One World, One Grid. Besides this, Mr. Modi, along with the Australian and the UK Prime Ministers, will launch a new initiative for infrastructure for resilient island states. It is aimed at creating a coalition for putting in place infrastructure that can withstand disasters and lessen economic losses in island nations. Several bilateral meetings are also in the pipeline at the sidelines of the COP26, including with UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. In his departure statement, the Prime Minister said that he will highlight the need to comprehensively address climate change issues, including equitable distribution of carbon space and the importance of sustainable lifestyles for green and inclusive growth at the World Leaders Summit during COP26.
Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare Dr. Mansukh Mandavia today addressed the G20 Joint Finance and Health Ministers meeting through video conferencing. Agenda of the discussion was concrete proposals to strengthen global health financing governance. In his address, Dr. Mandavia said that COVID-19 pandemic has brought to the fore the importance of international health regulations and the need for strengthening global health governance. While supporting the present proposal for Joint Health and Financing Task Force, India proposes that centrality of World Health Organization (WHO) needs to be maintained in the health arena. He said, India also proposes that while multiple entities with overlapping mandates are delving on the issue of pandemic preparedness and response, a clearly defined complementarity of all such initiatives to create a global health emergency management architecture is the need of the hour. He said there is also a need to synchronize these multilateral initiatives amongst member states as per their local context at national level. Dr. Mandavia also said that G20 needs to aid in increasing available funds to the WHO besides supporting ongoing multi-stakeholder mechanisms. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, today extended the suspension of scheduled international commercial passenger flights till the 30th of November this year. A circular issued by the DGCA stated that the restrictions shall not apply to international all-cargo operations and flights specifically approved by it. The aviation regulator stated that the international scheduled flights may be allowed on selected routes by the competent authority on case-to-case basis. The centre had banned international flights on the 23rd of March last year to contain the COVID spread. Later, flight restrictions were eased under air bubble arrangement with certain countries. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 105 crore 37 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 72 crore 86 lakh vaccine doses have been given as the first dose, while over 32 crore 50 lakh doses have been administered as the second dose. Union Health Ministry said that more than 51 lakh 59,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The Union Health Ministry said 13,198 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours, and the national recovery rate stands government today announced several relaxations upon the COVID-19 restrictions carried out across the state. The decisions came after Chief Minister Hemant Soren chaired the meeting of Disaster Management Department. The State Health Minister Banna Gupta informed that the market opening hours have been normalized and the ban on opening shops till 8 p.m. has been lifted. No weekend lockdown instructions shall be followed. Meanwhile, there would be no restriction on performing rituals of Chhath Puja at the river ghats. The Delhi government has allowed Chhath Puja celebrations at designated sites in the national capital except the Yamuna river bank and outside containment zones with requisite permission from the district magistrate. Delhi Disaster Management Authority DDMA in an order said all persons will be strictly prohibited from throwing puja material or any material like food grain in the Yamuna river.
All preparations are in place for voting tomorrow for by-polls in 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 Assembly seats in 14 states. The Lok Sabha by-polls will be held for Khandwa Parliamentary Constituency in Madhya Pradesh, Mandi in Himachal Pradesh and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. The by-elections for Assembly seats will be held in 14 states including Assam, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Haryana and Maharashtra. In Assam, the by-election is being held for 5 Assembly seats. The election machinery has completed all arrangements for the conduct of elections in a free, fair and safe manner. A total of 31 candidates are in the fray. Webcasting will be done from all the 1,176 polling stations. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah today launched the poll campaign for the BJP in the state and said that his party's government in UP has fulfilled at least 90% of the promises made in our manifesto, and in the upcoming elections, the BJP is going to cross 300 seats this time under the leadership of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Launching the Bharatiya Janata Party's membership campaign for the state in Lucknow, Mr. Shah, hitting hard on the opposition party, said the BJP government in UP has proved that governments do not work for a family, but for the poorest of people of the state. Union Minister for Food Processing Industries, Pashupati Kumar Paras, today chaired the Interministerial Approval Committee, IMAC, meeting to consider the proposals received under the scheme for the creation of infrastructure for agro-processing cluster of the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. During the meeting, the IMAC approved 7 proposals with a total project cost of over 216 crore rupees. This includes grants in aid of over 52 crore rupees in the states and union territories of Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. These projects will leverage private investment of around 163 crore rupees and are expected to generate employment for 12,400 persons and benefit 28,000 farmers. Finance Secretary Dr. T.V. Somanathan today released the guidelines to usher in reforms in public procurement and project management in New Delhi today. The formulation and release of these guidelines is a part of a continuous process of review of existing rules and procedures as emphasized by the Prime Minister during his Independence Day address this year. This is being monitored by the Cabinet Secretary as a special campaign during 2nd October to 31st October 2021. The India-Israel Joint Working Group on Bilateral Defence Cooperation has agreed to form a task force to formulate a comprehensive 10-year roadmap to identify new areas of cooperation. This was decided at the 15th Joint Working Group meeting held on Wednesday in Tel Aviv, Israel. The meeting was co-chaired by Defence Secretary Dr. Ajay Kumar and the Director General of Israel's Ministry of Defence, Major General retired Amir Ishel.
The Niti Aayog today released a comprehensive report titled Health Insurance for India's Missing Middle, which brings out the gaps in the health insurance coverage across the Indian population and offers solutions to address the situation. The report was launched in the presence of Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant and Additional Secretary Dr. Rakesh Sarwal. Secretary in the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, DIPAM, Tuhin Kant Pandey has said that the Ministry of Railways has decided to withdraw the decision on Indian Railways Catering and Tourism Corporation IRCTC convenience fees. Earlier, the Ministry of Railways had asked its catering and tourism arm IRCTC to share half of all the convenience fee revenue it earns. For the convenience of the rail passengers and to clear the extra rush of passengers during the ensuing festivals, Indian Railways are introducing a special train 01684-01683 Anand Vihar Terminal, Patna, Anand Vihar Terminal, Gati Shakti Superfast Special Train, having composition of 20 new 3AC economy coaches. Train number 01684 Anand Vihar Terminal, Patna Junction, Gati Shakti Superfast Special Train will depart from the Anand Vihar Terminal at 11:10 p.m. today on the 31st of this month. 2nd, 5th, 7th to arrive at Patna Junction at 3:45 p.m. the next day. In the return direction, train number 01683 Patna Junction, Anand Vihar Terminal, Gati Shakti Superfast Special Train will depart from Patna Junction at 5:45 p.m. tomorrow, 1st, 3rd, 6th and 8th November to arrive at Anand Vihar Terminal at 9:50 a.m. the next day. The Ministry of Railways said the train will stop at Kanpur Central, Prayagraj Junction, Varanasi, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Junction and Danapur stations en route in both directions. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets presidents of European Council and European Commission in Rome, discusses ways to enhance economic as well as people-to-people linkages aimed to create a better planet. India to highlight the need to address climate change issues comprehensively at COP26 World Leaders Summit, says Prime Minister. Directorate General of Civil Aviation extends ban on international passenger flights until November 30th. Over 105 crore 37 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. All preparations in place for smooth conduct of by-election for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 assembly seats tomorrow. India International Trade Fair to be held in New Delhi from 14th of November to 27th November. Kannada film star Puneeth Rajkumar passes away in Bengaluru due to cardiac arrest. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, West Indies beat Bangladesh by 3 runs in Sharjah. In another fixture, Pakistan take on Afghanistan in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. The India International Trade Fair will be held at Pragati Maidan, New Delhi from the 14th to the 27th of November. The fair, which is held annually and witnesses a record footfall, was not held last year due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The theme of the fair this year is Atmanirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India, the Vision of New India. Bihar is the partner state, whereas Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand are the focus states at the fair. Over 2,000 exhibitors from India and overseas are expected to participate with a display of a wide range of products and services. 23 states and union territories and 34 central ministries, commodity boards, PSUs and government departments are participating in this event. Many companies from the private sector will also be showcasing their products, and some of them will be launching new products also. So far, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bahrain, China, Ghana, Kyrgyzstan, Tunisia, Turkey, Sri Lanka and the UAE have confirmed their participation in the fair. The event will be organized in a safe and secure environment with all COVID protocols. The first 5 days of the trade fair are exclusively reserved for business days, and it will open to the general public from the 19th to the 27th of November. The timings of the fair will be 9:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. every day. Kannada Metni idol, popularly known as Power star Puneeth Rajkumar, passed away in Bengaluru today due to a cardiac arrest. The 46-year-old superstar was brought to a private hospital when he reported fatigue and chest pain in the morning today. Hospital sources said that Puneet Kumar was non-responsive to treatment and passed away in hospital. Puneet was born on the 17th of March 1975 in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. He began his career as a child artist and went on to become a mega star. Puneet was the son of a superstar of yesteryears, Rajkumar. Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai expressed shock and dismay over the death. He has appealed to people in the state to maintain calm and give a peaceful farewell to the cine star. The mortal remains of the actor will be kept in Kantirava Stadium in Bengaluru for people to pay their respects today and tomorrow. The Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur have expressed grief on the demise of actor Puneet Rajkumar.
In the run-up to the UN Climate Summit or the Conference of Parties, COP26, All India Radio brings to you a ready reckoner. Under the COP26 Explainer series, we will bring for you daily the terms and concepts that will be in use over the next fortnight. Today, we shall talk what all is net zero. Net zero emission means that all man-made greenhouse gas emissions must be removed from the atmosphere through reduction measures to reduce the Earth's temperature. The climate activists and the IPCC have been insisting upon net zero goal by 2050 for all. For developing nations like India, development is the primary goal which outweighs the push for net zero emissions by 2050. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. News Services Division of All India Radio every day broadcasts special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle. Let us listen to the 75th episode of this program today.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
29th October is the death anniversary of the great freedom fighter and social activist Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay. She passed away in 1988 in Mumbai at the age of 85, greatly inspired by Gandhian ideals and the concept of non-violence. Kamla Devi joined the Gandhian organization Seva Dal after her return from England, where she studied at the University of London and received a diploma in sociology.
She enrolled herself in the nationalist struggle as a member of the Congress Party. Kamla Devi was charged with the violation of the SALT laws and was sentenced to a prison term. She captured the nation's attention when, in a scuffle over the Congress flag, she clung to it tenaciously.
Kamla Devi became the president of the All India Women's Conference in 1936. She was a great author, and her first writings on the rights of women in India date back to 1929. One of her last books, Indian Women's Battle for Freedom, was published in 1982. Kamla Devi is credited with reviving Indian handicrafts and handlooms. She stressed the significant role which handicrafts and cooperative grassroots movements play in the social and economic upliftment of the people.
Kamla Devi is known as Hatkargha Ma for her works in the handloom sector. She nurtured several national institutions promoting drama, art, theatre, music and puppetry. Kamla Devi set up the Indian National Theatre in 1944, what is today known as the National School of Drama. In 1974, she was awarded the Sangeet Natak Academy Fellowship, the highest honour conferred by the Sangeet Natak Academy. She was conferred with Padma Bhushan in 1955 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1987.
Also on 29th October in the year 1920, a premier institute of the country, Jamia Millia Islamia, was formed.
उठी
Responding to Gandhiji's call to boycott all educational institutions supported or run by the colonial regime, a group of nationalist teachers and students quit Aligarh Muslim University, protesting against its pro-British inclinations and laid the foundation of Jamia Institute.
The prominent members of this movement were Maulana Mahmud Hassan, Maulana Muhammad Ali, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari, and Abdul Majid Khwaja. The known freedom fighter and Muslim theologian Maulana Mahmud Hassan laid the foundation stone of Jamia Millia Islamia at Aligarh on Friday, the 29th of October 1920.
On 22nd of November 1920, Hakim Ajmal Khan was elected as the first Chancellor of Jamia. Muhammad Ali Johar became its first Vice-Chancellor.
Jamia participated in the Bardoli Resolution and sent volunteers across the country to motivate people to fight for the freedom of the country. The colonial British government soon imprisoned many of its teachers and students. In 1922, Gandhiji called off the non-cooperation movement and Mustafa Kemal Ataturk declared the end of the Khilafat in 1924.
Suddenly, Jamia saw itself in a great crisis. The little financial assistance that the Khilafat had been giving it also dried up, and even prominent people started deserting it. At this time, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari, and Abdul Majid Khwaja, the first trio, supported by Gandhiji, shifted Jamia from Aligarh to Karol Bagh in New Delhi in 1925. Gandhiji boosted the morale of Jamia, saying,
"The Jamia has to run. If you are worried about its finances, I will go about with a begging bowl."
On 1st of March 1935, the foundation stone for a school building was laid at Okhla, a village in the southern outskirts of Delhi. In 1936, all institutions of Jamia were shifted to the new campus. In 1988, by a special act of the Parliament, Jamia Millia Islamia was made a central university. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow. All India Radio's prestigious annual Sardar Patel Memorial Lecture will be delivered this year by India's Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat. The CDS will talk about the role of the Indian Armed Forces in nation building. The lecture will be broadcast on the occasion of Sardar Patel's birth anniversary on the 31st of October across the All India Radio network at 9:30 p.m. In T20 Cricket World Cup, West Indies defeated Bangladesh in a nail-biting finish by 3 runs at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. Batting first after losing the toss, West Indies scored 142 for 7, but Bangladesh finished their innings on 139 for 5 in the stipulated 20 overs. In another match, Afghanistan were 110 for 6 in 17.1 overs against Pakistan at Dubai International Stadium when reports last came in. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. In metro cities, the national capital Delhi and Mumbai will have mainly clear skies. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy skies with moderate rain, while Kolkata will have partly cloudy skies. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets presidents of European Council and European Commission in Rome, discusses ways to enhance economic as well as people-to-people linkages aimed to create a better planet. India to highlight the need to address climate change issues comprehensively at COP26 World Leaders Summit, says Prime Minister. Directorate General of Civil Aviation extends ban on international passenger flights until November 30th. Over 105 crore 37 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. All preparations in place for smooth conduct of by-election for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 assembly seats tomorrow. India International Trade Fair to be held in New Delhi from 14th to 27 November. Kannada film star Puneeth Rajkumar passes away in Bengaluru due to cardiac arrest. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, West Indies beat Bangladesh by 3 runs in Sharjah. In another fixture, Pakistan take on Afghanistan in Dubai. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.